Welcome back, everybody, to Nain Shorts. Thank you for joining me once again on this lovely Wednesday. We're here back at Physique Magnifique, of course. That's what you hear in the background. Everybody's hitting something or tiring themselves out. I'm not sure which one they're doing, but it sounds cool. So if you're in the area, come join us. I do forget the address, Rick. 387 Grand Avenue in South San Francisco. I've been coming here for years, but because I know how to get here, I don't bother remembering the address. That's kind of how my memory works. Anywho, thank you again for joining me. Today I want to talk about something that I think we've all heard before in one form or another. That drills don't work in real life. No one fights that way. I think we've all heard that. I know I've heard it multiple times. Which begs the question, why do we learn drills? Now, even us in the Bladed Mind, as much as we want to label it something different, we want to frame it as an exercise versus a drill, we still in fact do drills. They're repetitive patterns that we learn from various angles of attack or a single angle of attack depending on what drill that you're working on. And that's at its most basic what you get from it. You get a sense of, oh, how do I deal with something coming on my left side? How do I deal with something coming on my right? Mid, low, whatever the particular drill is. And at face value, that's what we get. And they're great. I personally love them. I have my favorites. I'm sure you all have your favorites too. So I wanted to discuss the way that we approach our particular training when it comes to drills, or like we like to say, exercises. And for that, I will need a partner. So Rick, if you wouldn't mind joining me, grab a couple of sticks.
Hey, I'm back. Only because he needs me.
That sounded odd,
I know.
the way you
I
said
know.
it.
I could have framed it differently. Right?
You could have,
Okay.
yeah.
Because he's lacking in what he needs, so he needs me to supervise.
Wow.
Is that better?
That's just,
It's just
the
no.
knife. That's
Yeah, totally. Got to twist
really
it.
good. You're a horrible person.
Shall we?
Yeah, thank you. Jesus Christ. Okay.
That's what happens when you call me in for something. It's not my fault.
This is why I try to avoid you, but yet I need you to work the camera.
Oh, that's right. I work for cheap.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you put me on this. Anyways, so we're talking about drills, and one of the most basic ones is the Sinawali drill. Upper heaven is what some people call it.
Basic 8.
Basic 8.
Even though it's a 6 count.
Why is it called that? Anyways,
8.
but
circles.
oh no, because we start off with 2 and then it goes into 6.
Go ahead.
Whatever. Anyways, so everyone knows this drill. Start on one side. See, 2 and then 3, and then 3 again. There you go. Very basic, very simple. Hand-eye coordination is being worked here. Huh? Oh, sorry, I'm talking, so I was being recognized. Okay? Get all the details involved, and that's all it is. It's just a pattern, angles of attack that we're leading together. Now, the purpose of each one of these particular attacks is very, very simple. I'm trying to hit him in the face, and he's trying to hit me in the face. Now, that distinction is very important in the Bladed Mind because from the very beginning when we learn our angle 1 and 11, that is what we imply and that is what we tell our students to concentrate on, is actually hitting the opponent. Now, the reason behind that is that I want to focus on what I'm trying to do to my opponent, not what he's trying to do to me, because then I'm being reactive to what he's doing. But in the sombrado drill, we're both doing the same thing, we're mirroring, so we never hit each other. But again, nobody fights this way. And we've heard that many times before. So what do we get from the Sinawali drill? Well, what happens if we remove a stick? Now, we drop our left stick. We're still going to do the same pattern, the same motions, but something changed. I didn't do the same pattern, he did. There it is. So something changed. But the pattern can still keep, it still keeps going. we're still learning something along the way. There's no longer a stick, so you no longer have the distance. Your empty hand is now being engaged because it literally is empty. It no longer has a stick. So then the process isn't about swinging sticks. It's about learning the motion. And that's what we emphasize to our students, is that we're teaching them the motion itself. Because I no longer have a stick. He does. So what happens? Out. Okay. Out. Out. Okay, so that doesn't work for me. My hand is getting hit. He has a stick. So something needs to change on my end other than me dropping the stick so I don't get hit. So now, naturally, I have to start implementing the ideas that I learned in other lessons so I don't get hurt. So what does that look like in the frame of Sinualu? So if he's throwing it, oh, I need to make sure that I get to this hand first. And here, oh, I need to make sure I get to this hand, even if I move slightly, just to make sure. Here, here, here. Oh, okay. So now there. And he just scared me because it looked like he was going to throw a little more intent with his stick right now. So I wanted to end the drill. And eventually that's what we want to get to. In our levels of understanding, we give the gross motion, just the movements of the pattern. Level 2, then the details. Like we said, we're trying to hit the face. We're not trying to hit the stick. Then level 3, we add a variance. We add a change. I drop the stick, he dropped the stick. I have no stick, he has a stick. But I cannot just go through the motions themselves. I have to apply the details. Part of the details is him trying to hit my face, which means I need to stop that from happening. And if I don't, I get hit. So now I'm naturally adding all these concepts into a drill. So I'm no longer learning or practicing the drill as much as I am learning and practicing the concepts behind the drill, the things that I can now apply in a systematic way, because it is a repetitive thing. It goes back and forth. So you know what's happening next, which means you have the time to think about what it is that you're trying to accomplish with that particular movement. You're not just going through the motions. And folks, we all do it. We get lazy. We stop dogging the things that we do. We just kind of go through it. But you can always learn something new if you change the focus of what it is that you're trying to learn. Going back to some of these shorts from before, that's one of the topics, was what it is, or what is the focus of your training at that given time, at that point. What are you trying to learn then? If he drops his stick and we do the same drill again, now we're playing patty cake. But if you take a moment to look at these motions, what does it become? Huba, huba. Third place, as we call it. It's the same motions, but now we're breaking them down. So I continue. You didn't use your hand, so I wanted to imagine.
That's right. I know.
You already got the tooth removed. So again, it's the same pattern. Starting on one side or the other, it doesn't matter, because again, it's repetitive, it goes back and forth. It could be continuous or it could be broken down into individual parts. But in understanding the particular drill, then you can use those things as tools to learn other aspects, other training material that come along the way.
Let me add something into there, just so that people really get a better understanding of what's actually going on. If you notice, because we don't have sticks, first of all, our range has to change. We have to actually come in a little bit closer. Now, if he's trying to hit my face, and now, first let's just do the drill, right? Patty cake. But look what's happening. This becomes a backhand. Right? This becomes an eye rake. This becomes an elbow. Right? This becomes a grab. And into whatever else. Again, variations, that plays a big part in what we do and how we grow.
Level 3.
By understanding all the things, all the elements of the motion.
Right.
Oh, that looks like it could become a grab. Oh, this looks like this. Oh, this is a backhand. Once you start figuring out what each piece is, that drill then can be used everywhere and anywhere, and it will work for whatever you're trying to do once you understand what it is that you're looking at.
Because again, we get lazy and we just go through the motions and we take it at face value. But if we dig in deeper and really get to the original way that it was taught to us, because I'm sure your instructors told you, hey, this is really a hit here, this is really a hit here, this is really for this and this. There's a purpose behind those movements. We get so caught up in making it look nice and pretty that we forget that there is something beyond that. And when you understand that and keep that in focus, well, then you can ask yourself, well, if this is to hit the face, what else can I hit the face with? And what if I'm overextended? Oh, there's my grab now. It became from a hit to a grab. Oh, there's a chop, there's a poke. Now it can become so many more things because its purpose is now being redefined by your needs versus what it was originally taught as. Now, one of my favorite drills, Umbrada drill. Yeah, that's right. We need you for later.
Yeah, we don't want to roll an ankle as one of our first.
Love you, Nick. So our simple Umbrada drill. Very basic. Now, understanding the individual pieces, this first one, I'm trying to hit his face. Now, again, that becomes an important thing because he doesn't want to get hit, so he has to do enough to stop it. Now, hitting the stick is symbolic of hitting something else. Because what he's really trying to do is smash his hand. The reality is, there's no way this hand is going to stop unless there's something that stops it. And usually, that's pain. From here, he's trying to hit me, which means I need to move out of the way and make sure that I get this stick. If I stay here and I do this, even if my stick drops, I'm never going to get it. I am forced to move. So from the very beginning, by just adhering to the details, I have to add a variation to this stagnant drill in order for me to learn how to move the hell out of the way. Okay? From there, alright, stick, I come up, I'm trying to hit him again. Yeah, there you go. Good. Simple. Simple roof block. Okay? But again, the reality is he's not trying to stop the stick, he's trying to stop his hand. He wants to hit that, stopping that, checking the hand, then another detail, and then he hits me. And now we switch sides. I'm trying to take his hand out, I'm trying to take him out, hand, trying to hit him. And eventually, I want to just stop the whole thing altogether. Damn it. Because again, nobody fights in a drill form. So the obvious thing is, how do you break away from it? How do you insert your ideas while moving, while in motion, to get the better of it? Obviously, Rick hates losing, so he felt he had to hit me in the head. But it's an example of what we were just talking about. At any given point, because you understand each individual component, our students can now stop and, more importantly, explore. Now, this becomes an incredibly useful tool for teaching. Not because your students or you as a student are going to come up with anything brand new and creative that nobody has ever seen before. It's not going to happen.
It's been done.
It's been done. There are entire art forms based on that one thing that you may have discovered that you really, really like. But the importance behind that is that you discover it. As humble as we are as people, as martial artists, we still have egos. And when you come up with an idea, it sticks so much better into your brain than if you are taught an idea and told that this is the correct way to do it. If you discover it, then it's on you to really make it work for yourself, and that's how you own the movement. So for us in the Blade of Mind, this simple drill is a template to learn other ideas, whether it's adding speed to it, power, or how to break away from the drill itself and stop everything altogether. Because inevitably that's what you want to get, and that's where the drills, in our opinion, should go. Again, nobody fights this way. So let's get the most out of our drill. Thank you for joining me and Rick. again on another Nain Shorts. Hope this was informative. Please like and subscribe, share this. It does help us out. I'm not 100% sure how yet, but it helps us out, so please do so.
Also, if you could, if everybody would throw in a quarter and mail it to us, we can finally get him some shorts. Because he's never going to wear them if we don't get to buy him one.
You know the weather
Please.
hasn't been for it.
Please contribute a quarter. The more people put a quarter, we can give him a couple of shorts. For every week he isn't wearing the same thing. Thank you for your patronage.
You guys have a great day. 3, 2, 1, cut!